Let me introduce myself. My name is Sai. I have around 10 plus years of experience um, in the IT domain, and I've been teaching since last 5 years on various corporate trainings. So I'm I work majorly on consulting part. I give architectural suggestions and workflow to various companies in India and abroad. So I also do offer trainings. Um, I work in a product-based company as of now. So this is my profile. I started working on Azure like when it came in the beginning in 2017, 2016 in that era. So I'm a data engineer by profession. So I know various technologies, various tools from this Azure side. I teach DevOps, I teach Power BI, I teach data engineering, I teach Fabric, I also teach Databricks. So this is my profile. I teach SQL, and along with that, on-premise tools like SSIS, SRS also. I'll be teaching. So these are all my profiles, and I have worked on all these things in real-time projects. Yeah, that is about my profile. And let me discuss on something: Azure data engineering and Fabric. Okay, so basically, Azure data engineer is a combination of combination of various tools, and we call them as ETL or ELT developers. ETL or ELT. So basically we call them as ETL or ELT developers. So what comes in data engineering, different tools, let us discuss, and what comes in Fabric, let us discuss. Before that, I wanted to start with on Azure. Okay. So how many of you are new to Azure, guys?
Uh, I'm
New to
new
Azure.
Azure also. I mean, my name is Deepika. Hope you remember
Okay.
me. I'm from QA background,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know the Azure database or any data,
Okay.
any data. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
a manual QA tester.
Okay. Okay,
Uh,
Deepika. Yeah.
Hello,
And
Sai.
what about
I am
tools?
from SAP. Can you hear me, Sai?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Ramesh. I am from SAP background. I'm not aware of this Azure concepts.
Okay. New to Fabric. Okay, Rahul, thanks for confirming. And how many of them are new? Two people raise their hands, Shiva and Venugopal.
Sai, my
Can
name
you
is
unmute
Anil.
and talk?
Sai, my name is
Mm-hmm.
Anil. I'm from Oracle. Actually, I'm an Oracle DBA, so I don't know Azure part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
new to this Microsoft Fabric as well.
Okay. Okay. Due to 365. Okay. New to Fabric and Azure. Okay. So majority of us are new to this thing. Okay. To Azure and whatever the Azure data engineering or Azure. Everyone is new to the cloud and also the technology also. It's not an issue. We'll be starting from basics in this course. So let me go with Azure first. So Azure is a cloud vendor. Okay, we call it as cloud vendor, and it is from Microsoft. A cloud vendor from Microsoft. Okay, we have similarly other cloud vendors like AWS. We have GCP. These are other cloud vendors. Okay, and this Azure is from Microsoft company. Okay, now let's discuss something called cloud computing. So we hear this terminology, right? Cloud computing, cloud computing. Okay, what is this cloud computing in a sense? If we are getting, if we are getting a CPU, RAM, infrastructure, and storage, all this combination, if you are getting over the internet, then we call that as cloud computing. If you are getting CPU, RAM, storage, infra. Okay, all this combination, if I'm getting over the internet, if I'm getting over the internet, we call it as cloud computing. So I'm saying over the internet, right? I'm getting all these capabilities. What if I combine all these capabilities, right? CPU, RAM, storage, and infra, what it will become? If I combine all these things, what it will become, guys? What is your physical laptop consists of?
I mean,
What
we
does your
can
laptop?
create a laptop.
Yes, it's similar to a laptop. So your laptop consists of CPU, RAM, storage, yes or no? Right? Your laptop is a combination of all these things, right? So in the similar way, I'm getting all this compute environment. This four we call it as compute environment. I'm getting a compute environment over the internet, similar to a laptop or similar to a machine. I'm getting over the internet. So that's why I call it as cloud computing. This compute environment I'm getting over the internet. Okay, and it is not physically, right? I can create this compute environment over the internet, but I can't touch it. I can't feel that. Okay, only I can see with my eyes that something has been created, and I'm storing the data that I can see. This machine I can't see with my own eyes. I can't touch it, I can feel it. So that's why we call it as virtual. If you can't touch it, if you can't feel it, we call them as virtual. So your laptop is physical. Your laptop is physical one. Whatever we are getting over the cloud, we call it as virtual. And the definition for the cloud computing, in any interview if they ask, if you are getting this CPU, RAM, storage, infra over the internet, we call it as cloud computing. Okay, we call it as cloud computing. I hope the definition is clear for everyone. Is that clear? Can you please confirm, anyone,
Yeah,
by
yes,
unmuting?
yes, I.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we have the architecture for Azure. Every technology, every uh, thing will have an architecture basically. So we have architecture for Azure also. Okay, so we have logical architecture, we have physical architecture. Logical architecture and physical architecture. It's divided into two types, Azure architecture. So what does logical architecture consist? What does physical architecture consist? Let us discuss now. Let me go with physical architecture first. Physical architecture. Let me say, in the physical architecture side, we call them as regions. Okay, there are something called regions, like East US, for example, South India. Like this, we have 90 plus regions in Azure. Okay, 90 plus regions in Azure. Now, what are these regions then? Wherever we have the data centers located, we call them as regions. What do you call? A place where data center is located. we call it as region. A place where data center is located, we call it as a region. What is this data center again? A place where all your servers are located. Servers are located. Servers are located. We call it as a data center. We call it as a data center. A place where all your servers are located, we call it as data center. In on-premise situations, in our office location only, we used to maintain all these servers. If if anyone of you are working professional, you might be related to that. In your office location only, they will have a server room. They'll keep all your servers. Even the students also in colleges, because of your computer labs, they will maintain a server room where your all servers, where the servers are there, and from there only everything will be passed, like networking, internet connection, everything from that server room only, they will pass it to all the labs. So a place where your servers are located, we call it as a data center. Now, what is a server again? I said place where your servers are located is a data center, right? So what is a server then? This thing. Combination of all these things. Combination of all these things, we call it as server. Now, where does we keep these servers? We keep them in racks. Okay, let me show you uh, how the racks will look like, or a data center will look like in real time. Data center. Let me open this. Let me open the images. So this is the data center will look like, this image, and those many locations they'll have, and this is how the
Excuse me, sorry,
whatever
sorry to
this guy is
interrupt.
keeping, no,
Excuse me.
this one we
Sorry,
call it
this
as
is
rack. Inside the racks we have servers. Yes, please.
sorry to interrupt. This is Kautilya, and there's a slight disturbance, and your voice is not audible.
Yes, please.
There's a slight disturbance, and your voice is not audible.
Is that for everyone or only for him, guys? Can you confirm?
Yes, for
Yes,
Yes.
everyone.
yes.
Okay, it's for everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay, for some people they are saying it is good, and some people they're saying, what kind of disturbance you are getting, guys?
Sai, actually, the screen is lagging. Like when you started sharing, it took a while, and then your voice is not audible clearly. Like in between, there are some gaps. So there is an issue. So if you can please look at it.
Okay, sure. Maybe my internet connection is not that good, that is the reason.
Maybe
Okay.
you can just disconnect and connect again.
Okay, but couple of people are saying for them it is clear, man. I don't know what could be the issue, because people are texting here. For a couple of them it is good. For a couple of them it is clear. Okay. Uh, okay. Now can you confirm me? Is it my voice is audible now? Is clear? Is it clear
Yeah.
for now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. If there is any disturbance now, please let me know. And if someone is pinging in the chat, I can see the chat whenever I stop pause only. Okay. So please, if you want to ask any question, you can unmute anytime and you can ask. Now let me go here. This is how the data center will look like. And inside this data center, see this guy is keeping the compute services over the data center here. And these are called racks. These are called racks. So the racks will be looking like this. Everyone will be interconnected. And this data center is a combination of a building like this. And inside that you have the data centers and you have the servers like this. Okay. Physical servers are located. So this we call it as racks, servers, data center and region. So is it clear guys on the physical architecture for everyone? It starts with the region.
Yes.
Where data center is located, we call it as a region. Then what is a data center? A place where your servers are located, we call it as data center. What is server? Combination of CPU, RAM, storage, infra, all this combination we call it as a server. And where we keep the server, we keep in the racks. So this is the physical architecture for Azure. Let me go to the logical architecture of Azure. Logical architecture. In the logical architecture side, in the logical architecture side, we have something called tenant. Your organization ID will be there, right? @deloitte.com or @microsoft.com, @valuelabs.com. So your organizational IDs will be having, right? For your ID, there will be a separate. This is at the company level, okay? Deloitte, Microsoft, Valuelabs. Likewise, @cognizant.com. Likewise. So every company, okay, for every company, there will be a tenant available. On the organization level, this will be unique. So this we call it as a tenant, okay, an account for the organization. Now, once under the tenant, we will be having something called resource management groups. Resource management groups under the tenant. That means there might be a company, a parent company and a child company. Okay. For example, Google. Under Google, you have Gmail, you have YouTube, right? Under Google, you have Gmail, YouTube, and some other companies also under Google. So likewise, if there is any parent-child relationship among the companies, you'll be having that. Okay. Resource management groups will be helpful for us to manage those accounts. Now, the third thing we call it as subscription. I hope everyone is aware of this word subscription. Nowadays, we are taking OTT subscriptions, right? So in the similar way, subscription we have to maintain in order to create the resources in the Azure. You need to have a valid subscription to create resources in Azure. Resources in Azure. So different kinds of subscriptions we have. Let us discuss about them. We have free trial subscription. You have something called Visual Studio subscription. You have student access subscription. You have pay as you go subscription. So what does this free trial subscription will do? Let us discuss now. If you are having a credit card or a debit card, you can create this free trial subscription. They will deduct 2 rupees from your card they'll deduct 2 rupees from your card, and they'll give you almost 16,000 rupees. If you're in India, they'll give 16,000 rupees. In US, they'll give you $200 or $150 based on the region, based on the place you are. They'll be giving this thing. That is about free trial subscription. They'll deduct 2 rupees and they'll give you 16,000 rupees. If you are in US, they'll give you $200 or $150. Based on that, you can have a time period of 30 days. Within 30 days, you have to utilize that. If you don't utilize and the 30 days crossed, your subscription will be paused. If you utilize this amount and it is in 25 days only, and still you have 5 more days left, but the money is completed, then also it will be paused. Okay. So this is about free trial subscription. You can create multiple free trial subscriptions, but multiple credit cards. One credit card, if you have used, you can't create it for another one, another subscription. So one credit card, one debit card, only one account it can be created. Okay, for one account. If you wanted to create again new thing, new Outlook ID you have to create, new Outlook ID, and give others phone number, give your other parents or siblings phone number for the next account, and create with another new credit card. Then only it will be created. If you use existing Outlook account and if you are giving your phone number only and you are trying to create, sometimes it will break and that credit card also can't be used for your Azure subscriptions. So always prefer to give new account when you are going to have a new free trial subscription again. Now Visual Studio subscription, let us discuss. This subscription details we'll be getting with the help of usually office, your work location or office people, they'll give you this kind of account, Visual Studio or MSDN subscriptions. They'll allocate every month some 10,000 or 5,000 or 3,000 based on the company. They'll allocate for your practice. Every month they'll renew. So that is about Visual Studio. Student access subscription. If you are a student and if you are studying in any university or any company college, you will have student access subscription. You will have this ac.in in India. People will have at the rate ac.in, some company, let's KKR at the rate ac.in, like that. The college email IDs will be there, right? So you can use that email IDs for your Azure subscription. Okay. And in US also, all the universities in US are recognized. In India, couple of the universities are not recognized. So based on your college, you can create this student access subscription. They'll give you $100 and 90 days of time for practice. $100 and 90 days of time. If you have any siblings, you can utilize their account, their email IDs. Now finally, pay as you go subscription. This is what every company will use in real time. Pay as you go subscription. So what are the benefits here in the pay as you go subscription is, you can start your working, you can create the resources, but before that you have to link something like a credit card for your pay as you go subscription. You can utilize as much as you want. Whatever you use, only the billing will be done for that. And in the month end, they will send an invoice stating that, okay, you have utilized 9,000 rupees for all these resources. They'll give you the billing in a good way, invoice, and then you have to pay the invoice. Whatever the bill they give, we have to pay that at the month end. So that is what pay as you go. Every company will pay in the month end whatever the billing they occurred in the month end. So this subscription is used by companies in real time, and other things are for us when you wanted to practice. Okay. Any doubts on subscriptions? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So let me
Sorry,
continue further.
1
Yeah.
minute. Actually, I understood the subscription. Can you tell me the starting? What is a tenant? Can you tell me that one? I mean,
Okay.
tenant is different
So
companies, right?
yeah, you have your email ID, right? If you're working in a Deloitte company, they'll give you your email, right? Like
Yeah, I
What is
work
your
in
name, ma'am?
Walmart. I just Sam's Club, siva.deepka.samsclub.com. Yeah, like that.
Yes. So in that way, they'll be having the tenants. For every company, they will be having a unique tenant with their email IDs, like at the rate walmart.com, is it right?
Yeah.
So that on the level of walmart.com, they will be giving a unique ID in Azure. One ID they will be giving at the company level. So that is tenant. Under that company level, you can add users.
So Sai, we
Is it
need to
make
log in
sense?
with the tenant ID.
Yeah, let me tell you, like if your name is let me say Naveen, Naveen at the rate Deloitte.com. This is how they'll give you the IDs, right, in companies.
Yes.
Right.
So with this ID, you will be logging in the companies. With this ID, you will be logging into the portal, Azure portal. Okay. And once you
Oh,
log in, you will be seeing a tenant ID there inside that portal. You'll be seeing a tenant ID that I'll show you in some time. You'll be seeing a tenant ID. So this tenant ID is unique for all your employees.
yes. I mean, my ID. My ID, you are saying, right?
This you are Naveen and someone is Sandhya at the rate Deloitte.com. So everyone will have their own email IDs, right? So, but for everyone, the unique thing is tenant ID will be unique for everyone.
Okay,
Same
here
tenant
the
ID.
tenant ID and subscription ID are same.
No, tenant
Okay.
ID is at the organization level. At the Deloitte level, the tenant ID will be unique. Subscription is different. Subscription, once you log in into that portal, you need to buy a subscription. So, for
Mm.
example, Netflix. In order to log in into Netflix, you should have an account, right?
Mm.
You will create an account or not in order to log into Netflix or Hotstar. That account will be unique for you, right?
Yes.
So you can, your family members can use that account or not.
Yes.
So in the similar way, in the company, this Deloitte.com at the Deloitte.com is, that is at the tenant level. They'll have one tenant ID, and these are all these family members of the Deloitte. So they will be creating the users inside this tenant ID. Okay, so the tenant ID will not change. Okay, tenant ID will not change. They'll be having number of users under the tenant.
Okay. The main Netflix is my Gmail account,
Tenant.
and me
Hmm.
and my mother, my brother can use that
Yes, yes,
account.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you give access to your brother, he can use it. If you give your access to your mother, she can use like that. So the tenant is the highest level. Okay, for every company, there will be one tenant ID like this. For a Deloitte, we'll have one. Microsoft will have one. Value Labs will have one. Some unique tenant ID they'll have in Azure. Okay.
And say, when in India, if we are like paying 2 rupees for the subscription first, and then we are getting the 16,000, what are we getting that 16,000 for? Like to pay inside the Azure for different services?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay.
So whatever you create the service, they will be charged for that service, right? For that charge, this amount will be deducted for that particular charge. For example, if you are creating a virtual machine inside the portal or a SQL database, if it is costing some 1,000 rupees per month, so from this 16,000 that will be deducted. Okay. So whatever you create in Azure, those costs will be deducted from the 16,000 rupees they have given. It will deduct automatically from that. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Let me show you my portal. So this is my portal. Let me refresh this.
So we need to just take this subscription 1 month free and we need to practice, or will you provide any sandbox
Yeah,
access, those stuff?
we need to take a subscription. We need to practice. For Fabric, I can help. For Azure portal, you have to take a subscription. Okay.
Okay, for Fabric, what is that sandbox subscription you have, or like how
Yeah,
you will
for
give that?
Fabric, yes.
Okay.
I'll guide you on that. Okay.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
see here, 10,071 rupees is available in my account. So if I use these things, I can use for my resources in the portal. Let me go to the subscription. I'll have a valid subscription here. Here it will show you this cost I have used till now. And if you go inside this subscription, mine is a Visual Studio subscription. And if I scroll down, it will be giving me each resource wise how much I spent. I have used a database. I spent there 3,700 some change rupees I have used. So this is how the details also will be given where you spent the amount. From last 1 month, this is what I am spending. Last 2 months, this is how I am spending. Like that, it will give you each resource wise the amount. See the forecast. If I go like this, my forecast will be around 23,000 rupees I can spend. So there is a forecast also. And if I goes below where I spent huge amount, that will be showing here. So this we'll be seeing in the classes, coming classes. Don't worry about them now. But whatever the money they have given, it will be utilizing for your resource creations only. Okay. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes, please, Sai.
Yeah. So we have discussed about subscriptions. Under the subscriptions, in the logical architecture, we have one more thing called resource groups. So whatever you create in Azure, we call them as resources. Whatever we create, we call them as resources. So what are resources? A SQL database is a resource. A virtual machine is a resource. Okay. And whatever I have no, like a data factory is a resource. Anything you create in Azure, we call it as a resource. So what are these resource groups then? In a project, you'll have QA environment, you'll have dev environment, you'll have production environment. Okay. There will be multiple projects also in the same there will be multiple projects in the same company. Let's say you are working on some project, other people are working on different projects. So all of them will create a separate resource group and they'll give you access. What will happen in the resource group is resources only they will have. Let's say in the development environment, I have SQL database, I have data factory resource. In the QA environment also, I'll have the same thing, SQL database and data factory. But the thing is, my configuration will be less in development environment. I'll use only 5 GB of space database. In QA, I'll be going with some 20 GB space because the QA data will be having more. And in production, we'll be keeping maximum like 1 TB. In production, real-time data will be more, right? Like that. So it will be divided. This is segregated into multiple resources. Okay. For example, you have in the college, you have multiple branches, right? ECE, CSC. Under each branch, students will be staying. Okay. In order to differentiate the students, we'll be creating multiple branches. So in the similar way in resource groups also in Azure, for differentiating between the development environment, QA environment, we'll be creating multiple resource group. Okay. So this is the logical architecture. Any questions, guys? So I would request everyone, whatever it comes into your mind, you can ask me. Okay. Don't think that that question is not worthable or if it is not making sense. Nothing like that. Whatever you ask, others also will learn. Do you have any questions, guys? Yeah.
Yes, I do have. Let's say I wanted to ask, like, if a company can have multiple tenant, and is
They
that
can have.
allowed?
They can have.
And one more thing, Sam. Like, if we can have multiple tenants, can we communicate between them? Like in resource group, I can understand that, like QA, dev, prod, these all
Hmm.
can be, we can share data between them.
Hmm.
Can we cross share, like from one tenant to another?
Yes, it is not all resources are supported. Couple of them are supported, but it is not wise to communicate among the tenants. Okay, that architecture is not a good architecture. People will make, you can have multiple tenants, but if you have all your resources in one tenant and communicating in that tenant only, that is the wise architecture, because some resources
Okay,
will not support cross tenant communication.
got it, sir. You mean to say logically it will be like not that not like very good.
Yes, they will not maintain. First of all, if they are, if someone is maintaining, that means have a different agenda for communicating between the tenants. It's not in a wise scenario. Okay.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
No worries. No worries. Okay. So let us discuss the topics which we can cover in our course. So we will be starting. We'll be starting with Synapse in our program. Synapse is an ELT tool. This has huge demand in market for your placements also. If you wanted to switch into the data engineer side, this is a good place. We'll be discussing Synapse. We'll be discussing something called Data Factory. This is also another ELT tool. We'll be discussing between these two things first, and we'll be focusing on Synapse most of our course. Data Factory is an initial tool. On top of Data Factory only Synapse came.
Sai, this
Okay.
data factory is this Azure data factory, huh?
Azure Data Factory. Yes.
Sir,
On
I
top
have
of
one
that only we
question.
have
Is this
Synapse. Yes, please.
is this course contain the Microsoft Fabrics or Azure Fabrics?
Okay. That I'll Microsoft Fabric, Azure Fabric, everything is same. Microsoft Fabric is what they'll call. Okay. Azure Fabric they are not calling. They'll call Microsoft Fabric. Okay. Both are same.
Okay. Suppose, for example, I have Power BI Pro license. So where it now recently they have introduced Microsoft Fabrics, right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
without any Azure subscription, can we do all these things in the Fabrics there, Microsoft Fabrics, where it is located in Power BI?
No. You have to have a Azure subscription.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Now let's discuss about the topics we'll discuss. We'll discuss on storage accounts, where your data will be stored. We have two types of storage accounts, blob and data lake gen 2. What are the differences between them? Which one we'll use in when we can use which one? We'll be discussing on this part, storage accounts part. Then we'll be discussing on the Synapse pipelines, how we can get data from different places, how we can get data from on-premise, how we can get data from your laptop, how we can get data from a storage account to SQL database, or from SQL database to storage account, or from dedicated SQL pool to storage account, like that. We'll be discussing various scenarios, how we can get multiple tables at once using a single pipeline, how we can make the pipeline more dynamic for getting the data, how we can do incremental load of bringing the data, how we can apply some transformations, SCD type 1, type 2 transformations. So all this will be discussed as part of the course. So once you complete this course, you can easily claim around 3 to 5 years of experience after your course completion. So those level of deeper level we'll be going. We'll start with basics, but we'll be going into the advanced topics slow by slow. So once this course is completed, you can claim that level of experience. So all things whatever we discussed, we'll be doing step by steps. I will be dividing into couple of blocks. Slow by slow, will be building the things. If you combine everything, it will become a project. I'll give you project work also, how a real-time project work will look like, and how you have to do that. I'll guide you. I'll give you, and I'll give you one or 2 days time. Once you have done, I can monitor that. Based on that, I can help you. Okay. So this is on the project work.
Okay.
Once this entire thing is done, we'll be seeing other important topics in Synapse, serverless SQL pull topic, and we'll be seeing how to send an email using logic apps, how to send an email using logic apps. So we will be using logic apps also. So that will be a good hands-on knowledge for you. If you have learned this logic apps also. So these all things we'll be discussing as part of our course. So this will give you a good experience. Okay. Once this part is done, project work is done, we'll be using Microsoft Fabric for the rest of the program. So what we'll learn in the Microsoft Fabric is it's again a new portal, fabric.microsoft.com. This is a new portal, and here it's a combination of all these tools. Whatever I said, no data factory, Synapse, storage accounts, all this combination, it will be available in one portal only in under a single place, that is Microsoft Fabric. We'll be discussing more broadly on Microsoft Fabric and what are the advantages it has. In the coming next 2 years, every market will shift completely to Fabric. They'll not use other things. They'll be completely shifting to Fabric if they wanted to have a unified space. In the Fabric, you will have again the data factory. We'll having Synapse. You will not have storage account. We have something called One Lake for storing the data, everything. We have something called lake houses. We'll be discussing that. We'll be discussing about where data warehouses in the Fabric. We'll be also discussing um, how to create a Power BI reports, basic Power BI reports in the Fabric, how to automatically create them and how to utilize them. We'll be discussing. So this all combination we'll be discussing as part of Fabric. Okay.
So, one question here. Do we need to know the Python Sai for this?
Very good. Very good. I'm coming to that part only. So as part of this course, we'll be learning SQL basics. I'll be teaching whatever it is required for our data engineer nowadays. Sorry.
Your voice is breaking, Sai.
Okay. So is it audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be learning SQL basics as part of this program. Whatever is required for a data engineer, how to create a table, create tables, inserting data into tables, update, inserts, delete, drop, creating stored procs, creating views, all these things. What are the basic SQL I'll be teaching as part of this program. Along with that, you'll also learn basic PySpark. It's a flavor of Python. So we'll be learning as part of this program. Okay. These all things will be covered as part of the program.
And say, how is the structure based? Like, how many sessions would be there, and how many sessions, particularly in a week? And like, if you can give that info.
Okay. Sure, sure. We will be having 5 days a week class. Okay. In a week, we'll have 5 days and you'll have almost 40 plus classes as part of this program. So let's consider 2 months of your time for this program, dedicated time for this program. Okay.
Okay, and then I saw the architecture of Fabric before, and I think you have covered most of the things like it has data factory and then it has Synapse for various uses like data science and some other, and then one lake houses and things. So, in all, when you would teach us about all these topics, you would go over them one by one, and then
one by
will
one.
we, yeah, and then we will create a project all together by
Yes.
using everything, or we would
Yes.
just do it step
No,
by
no.
step.
While teaching, it will be step by step. For the project, we'll be going all the combination. We have to use all of them, and we have to build a project. Okay.
Okay,
So
got
if
it.
I wanted to store data, I have to use one lake. Okay. If I wanted to create ETL pipelines, I can go with Synapse or a data factory. Then what is this lake house? That we'll be discussing, and where we can use in our project. People are where people are using in real time these lake houses in their project. Okay. And then what is the use of data? Are they using or not?
Hello,
Okay. If
Sai.
they are using, where they'll use, and what is this Power BI reports? So all this will be covering. Okay.
Hello, Sai.
We'll be top covering individually, and along with that we'll be making a project of all these resources. Yes, please.
Yeah, so the one lake or lake houses is like a data lake, which we use basically nowadays for 365 FNO also. So
Okay.
that is the one that you're
Data
talking
lake,
about, one lake. Yeah.
data lake is different
Yes.
from one
Okay.
lake.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So previously we used to have storage accounts like data lake Gen 2 or blob storage, all these things. But
Yeah.
now they removed that in the fabric and they kept as one lake. It's for storage account only. All your data will be using in a single place storage account. We don't have any multiple storage accounts, or we don't have anything. There is no limitation also for storage. All projects data will be stored in one lake. Okay.
Okay.
All your projects data will be stored at one place. We call it as one lake. I'll explain that
Uh,
more detailedly when we go into that particular topic. You'll understand when I show you visually also. Okay.
Sai, one quick question, Sai. Okay, probably this might be
Hmm.
relevant to everyone. So nowadays, like the customers who are on different platforms, who are on different technologies, want to shift completely to Fabric. Okay, example, if
Hmm.
we take
Hmm.
SAP, so if they want to shift SAP completely to Fabric, is in reality is that possible or not? Sai.
You're saying something. You
Yes.
said SAP and people are shifting to Fabric.
Yeah, exactly. So example, if you take SAP BW, okay, so it
Hmm.
contains all the data, which is extracting the data from
Hmm.
S4. So the BW
Hmm.
has multiple HANA views. Probably you might be knowing about the calculation views and HANA views and
Hmm.
whatever it
Hmm.
is. They are
Hmm.
sitting in SAP BW system. Okay. Now
Okay.
they want to replace this complete SAP BW to Fabric. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
is that completely possible to
Yes.
shift the
Yes. Yes. Yes.
whatever the data
Either it
models
is
we have?
possible. Yes.
But o- but only the
But
question
you have
is
to
that
design. Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, only the question that I have is like see how is the delta being manageable here? Because right now when you take into the SAP or SAP BW or whatever I mean functionalities we different modules we have in SAP,
Hmm.
the delta has been delivered by the SAP. But how the
Hmm.
fabric will maintain this delta capability? I know if
We
we
have
have a
here the
table,
capabilities.
yeah, if we have a table concept based on the date, we can go by the date field or something. But coming to different data models that we have, how the delta is being captured, is
Okay.
that possible or not?
Uh,
Sai?
yes. 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 It's possible. We have a delta feature in the Synapse. We have we have in the Fabric also. We have a delta feature. So it is completely possible. We can. It's not about one column. We can consider many columns as a combination and consider it as a delta feature. Okay. So let's say I have a column with order ID, order name, and order phone number. Um, I'll be considering here unique columns as my delta feature. Okay. So we have a format completely. So whatever the data we store in one lake, it will store in the delta format only in the backend. That is an advantage of one lake. So whatever you are storing the data, it is storing in the backend as a delta format. Okay, even you can get data from other sources into the fabric and you can utilize them. You can even push data from one lake to another source also. So if you wanted to completely shift from SAP BW, then first of all the people have to think what are features they have and how to replicate them in the fabric. So this comes under completely migration project. So whatever resources it is supported now, can we migrate completely at a time, or can we go with step by step process of migrating process? There are different scenarios in order to look into that. But as I said that delta is supportable in one lake. Okay, with the
Okay.
help of columns only we'll be using delta also here. With the help
And
of
one more
columns
thing,
only we'll be using. Yeah.
got it, Sai. And one more thing, Sai, how about the performance? Uh, uh, the performance, like, see, when we have, I mean, the millions and billions and trillions of data in SAP. So can
Mhm.
Fabric hold this much of data?
Yes, it has no limitation in holding the data. So it has no limitation, and the processing performance, the capabilities of delta, the fabric are much better than synapse and even databricks.
But if the data is growing, what will happen, Sai?
No, Greta is growing, it will support.
It will support us
If
because
previously
in
we have some
Great, Sai.
limitation on storage accounts. Okay, we have some 5 TB limitation previously. Per subscription we used to have 500 TB, sorry. Per subscription per storage account we used to have 500 TB, and in one subscription I can create some 500 storage accounts. So almost 25 petabytes of data I will have. But now I am having only one lake which can hold all the data. There is no limit in the data.
Okay. And what is the, I mean, the process, I mean, when we want to load the data from either SAP or other databases to the Fabric, to the one lake. So what will be the
Mhm.
processing time? It will be faster or it will be still slow when the record count is high in the source?
Okay, based on the record count, the time will be taking. Okay, and when you are loading the data, what processor you are taking, okay, in the backend, what you are taking, what configuration you are taking also matters. So we can increase the configurations if you are having huge data and you can load it fast.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So during the coming classes, I have some doubts on this delta part. I'll share with you. Right. Okay.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. It will be a good learning for others also. If something from real time, if someone asks, initially they might have been they'll not connect, but once the class is going and when they know the topics, no, they'll relate with the topics and they'll also enjoy the questions. Okay, no worries on that.
Agree.
You can ask it. Okay. Yeah.
Sai, I mean, I don't know whether I can ask this question. Is this
Mhm.
Microsoft Fabrics related to any AI?
Okay. No, ma'am. Fabric is completely different, but you can train machine learning models in the Fabric also. That is possible, but it's not related to AI. AI we have separate thing. Microsoft Azure AI, that is a separate and course again. It's not related with our Fabric. Okay.
Okay, I mean, and another question I have, I mean, I'm new to this data and Azure. So, do we have
Mhm.
jobs in Microsoft Fabric? Because I'm
Microsoft.
from USA, I don't know about others. I'm
Okay.
from USA.
Okay.
Is there any, I mean, upcoming jobs of the Microsoft Fabrics?
Yes, yes, ma'am. The market is open for Fabric now. From the last month only, people are hiring for Microsoft Fabric. Okay. So the market is open now for Fabric.
Yes, yeah, there are so many jobs in Microsoft Fabric nowadays because they are shifting, they're migrating all their data lake or they are shifting their data warehouses to Microsoft Fabric now.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
So the market is open. Okay. Yeah.
Sai, when was this fabric introduced, Sai?
So it was in the last November, they have announced in the Microsoft Ignite that they are coming with the Fabric, and it's been almost some 8 to 9 months happened.
Okay.
So yeah.
So let me ask you my question. Like I'm a Oracle DBA. I'm having 10 plus years of experience. Okay, as a
Hmm.
Oracle DBA. So if I
Very good.
want to
Hmm.
switch my career to the Microsoft Fabric, so how much experience I need to to have? Like I need to place in my resume or in LinkedIn.
Okay, you can place it 5 years of experience. That is sufficient. Okay, on
Okay.
don't say on Microsoft Fabric. You can say on Microsoft. You can add Synapse. You can add Data Factory. You can add Fabric. Overall, you can say 5 years of experience, and you'll have plenty of opportunities for that. If you mention, as you are from database background, it is very easy for you to switch into this place.
Okay, okay. So my problem is I cannot fake my profile side. The thing is I worked in Oracle, right? So in
Mhm.
Oracle, definitely this fabric
No,
is
no,
not there.
no, no, no. You can say that you are from a database background. No, so
Yes.
the people who are from the data background, they can easily claim that. Okay, I'll give you the projects. I'll explain whatever I explain in the classes. No, you can relate to
Okay.
that.
Nowadays,
Okay,
like
and I'll
NetSuite
say
also.
how Mhm.
Yes,
Nowadays,
NetSuite is also. Sorry.
NetSuite ERP is also using nowadays, Microsoft Fabric started using Microsoft Fabric, and I've seen that they started using those kind of products to enhance their ERP. So Oracle is also bought NetSuite, so you can tell that also.
Yes, yes.
the people are having some data background, it is very easy. Okay, forget about your experience like 10 years or 15 years. That doesn't matter here, because this is running from last almost 2015 2016. So it's almost 8 plus years it's been there in the market. Okay, so the data engineering part, so you can utilize this as your experience. You can claim 5 years of experience on the complete cloud side, so you'll have plenty of demand for the jobs. Okay, no one will have 10 plus years of experience in the Azure completely, because it's been 10 years only Microsoft came Azure. Okay, so think in that way. Whatever you do before, you can add absolutely that part also. And from last 5 years, you're working on this. You can add like this. Okay.
Sai, I've been working on a little bit of SQL and Python with making Power BI dashboards. So, like, I was
Hmm.
into data analytics, but to broaden my horizon, I am learning cloud and then now Fabric so that I can get more things. So, just wanted to ask you, like, this course, what we were just talking about, like Fabric, Azure, and then some of the basics. Once this course is complete, I think like we would be in a good place, right, where we can create projects by ourselves and pitch to companies for interviews that we are good with all these.
Uh, Let me repeat. I got some break in between. So you are saying that you're you have already experience on some data analyst part on the Power BI side. If you add it to your resume, this data engineering part, it will be boosting for your resume part. First thing, and second thing, as you have some background on SQL and Python, that will be helpful for you in data engineering switching easily.
Yeah, like somewhat my question was similar. Like I would now understand more about cloud, Azure, Fabric, and
Hmm.
then data engineering stuff. So while
Hmm.
switching my job, this will add into my resume definitely, and then we will be well prepared after this course, right, for interviews because
Hmm.
we'll do the practice
Yes,
as
yes,
okay.
yes. I'll be sharing some interview questions. I'll be sharing some resume formats. We'll be sharing some material as part of this course. Okay. So once half of the course is done, I'll be sharing some Synapse material, some Synapse interview questions, and resume part. Then once the Fabric is completed, I'll be sharing related to materials for Fabric also. Okay.
And Sai, during this course to ensure, I mean, any one of this language is important. Like as you said, the PySpark. So you said like you'll be covering the PySpark, right? So you'll be covering the basics, or you'll be going somewhat in depth, like mid-level for PySpark. Because without knowing
Okay.
any language, it will be difficult in the real time for us, Sai.
Okay, so whatever it is needed for a data engineer, that we will be covering. Okay, if we are not a web developers, right, to cover very deeper into any language, you are not a web developer, or you're not a UI developer, to learn more deeper into that, right? For a data engineer, whatever is sufficient, I'll be teaching. Focus on that part and just crack the interview. Okay, so whatever we needed as part of a data engineer job, day to day job, I'll be teaching that part.
Okay,
Is
Sai.
that
Thank
clear,
you.
Ramesh?
Yeah, thank you, Sai. So my scenario is I like, see, we already have mm, the, I mean, our company has already have the data lake and Azure. Now they're
Hmm.
shifting to Fabric actually. They want to put everything in Fabric. Okay. So, uh, and again, they have SAP BW. So they want to
Hmm.
put whatever uh, the stuff they have in BW, they want to migrate that to Fabric. That's their plan, but yeah.
Yeah, sure, sure. I'll guide you on that. Okay, if I have any
Okay.
things from your end, you can ask me personally. Wherever you're stuck, wherever you want some information, I can give you on the broader level how we can do that. Okay,
Thank you. Bye.
no worries.
Sai, is it mandatory to know the Power BI for the Fabric guys?
Is it mandatory to know Power BI?
Yeah.
No, no, it's not mandatory to know Power BI. It's an add-on for you. If you are learning a data engineering, if you have Power BI, you can work on Power BI part also. Okay, there is some more opportunity for getting some different kinds of jobs like data analyst if you have a knowledge on that, but it's not mandatory. Okay.
We have Power BI in our project, but I'm not an Power BI. Basically, I'm an SAP consultant. They have migrated from ECC to S/4HANA. They decommissioned SAP BW. They moved to the Azure database.
Hmm.
So you can search it into Go, where we are replicating the tables into Azure Data Core, and we are doing the reporting on top of our BI. Now they are planning to get the Fabric. So even
Okay.
when they are moving the tables into the migrating the tables into the Azure Data Core, it's not that much
Hmm.
success. What? Because they are not in position to fix the data. So if I do the replicate the data into the data core, we are not getting accurate data. So what we are doing, we are manually placing the files into the SharePoint, and we are doing on top of the SharePoint, we are doing Power BI reporting. So now they're planning to get the Fabric.
Okay.
They are not using any ADF concepts or something like database concept to replicate it into data code. They are doing some third party and doing the full loads every day. These full loads
Okay.
will not be there when it comes to financial event. The volume of
Hmm.
data.
Okay. Okay, anything you wanted from that, or you're just giving information?
No, that is the reason we have. This I do not know any Power BI. I know only the SCC is electrical club, but they are not using it.
Okay.
So if I go for Fabric, does it fetches for me? If I do not know about the Power BI also.
Okay, we can talk offline on this. Okay, if you want to have something, we'll be discussing. But Power BI knowledge is not a mandatory thing for us here. Any other questions, guys? Okay,
Yeah,
first of
Sai,
all,
I am a power. Yeah,
yeah,
Sai,
please go on.
I'm a Power Platform developer. How
Hmm.
can I relate this Microsoft Fabric with my resume? Like, if I want to switch the job.
Okay, you are already on the data side, and you are from the D. I think these all things comes under D365, right? Or M365?
Yeah, yeah, D365 Dynamic CRM
Yeah, yeah. So you're
and Power
already in that
Platform
part.
Power
If,
Apps.
yes, yes. So it is very easy for you to learn next part of Power BI, as you are in the Power Platform and Power Automate on this side, Power Apps. So
Yeah,
you can relate as a data engineer. If you wanted to switch your career into a data engineer, then you can learn this and you can add this to your resume. Okay. So
okay.
this will definitely help you in as you have existing knowledge on the Azure part, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
Like
Ranjan,
it
you
will be
said
an
will you
added
cover
advantage, right?
Yes, yes, it's an add-on advantage.
ఏం కావాలా?
Okay.
You don't want anything?
Okay.
మనం
Sorry.
చేసుకుంటేనే
Okay, can you mute now, Kiran?
రేపు చేసుకోలే ఇంకా.
Hello, Sai.
Amaravati, can I mute you? Okay. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
Malik.
So
Bhupen
yeah.
Malik, tell me.
So will you will be covering the like Mendelian structure for the fabric and the delta lake storage, this kind of things, everything in
Yes,
next
yes,
one? So yeah. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. We'll be doing. Yeah, we'll be having. There is no need of learning Databricks if you learn Fabric or Synapse. There is no need of learning Databricks. Okay. That is answer for Ranjan. And 8 weeks on what topic each week? Can you please cover on schedule, please? Okay. I'll be. I hope organizer will reach out to you on the schedule part. He will giving. He will be giving the content for you. Okay. We'll be discussing. See the content and we'll be discussing the class again. Is that fine, Nirmal? Nirmal. Okay.
I suppose if we miss the class, do we have like recorded sessions
Every day,
while we miss the
every
class?
day recording will be done. Every day recording will be done, and they'll be giving recording to you. If you miss the class, also they will get the recording. Okay. So there is no
Okay,
problem. Every day the recordings will be done. The recordings will be shared with you.
got it, got it. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. Okay, guys. Let's see you tomorrow, everyone. Let's start dive into Azure. We'll see how to create accounts in Azure in the coming days. But tomorrow I'll be teaching how to create a storage account, how to place the data there, what is the use of storage accounts. Let's discuss on the storage accounts part tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all,
Thank you,
guys.
Sai.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Sai.
Thank